Welcome viewers to a new episode of Beyond Boundaries. This past week in cricket, India take on England and Bazball proved victorious.
Yeah, West Indies versus Australia, and after 27 years, I think West Indies have beaten Australia. Great to see that.
And triple centuries galore at Ranji cricket.
Also, Dean Elgar's allegation against Virat Kohli.
Scathing allegations against Virat Kohli. And finally, we cover the Under-19 Cricket World Cup. What a great week for Test cricket. If it ever needed an advertisement, the past week was it. What a thriller. Both the games.
Yeah, both the games.
Both the
absolutely.
games. India fighting to almost win. And West Indies, hats off. I mean, just winning by 8 runs. Gabba once again
breached.
breached.
Gabba breached.
What an advertisement for Test cricket. Let's go to India's, that being the recent one.
Yeah.
We'll go to India's defeat first. Where do we start? Because I am sick and tired of this team performing like this. Did they underestimate opponents like to great extent in home conditions?
True, 100%. I think they just thought that our spinners can just bowl them out, bowl England out for 200 in the second innings.
They were pitching in the middle of the.
Yeah.
They were not even pitching it up. I mean, Ashwin was bad. Jadeja was bad. Aksar was bad. I mean, except for Bumrah, I think so. Nobody even tried in the second innings.
I can understand India getting complacent, but this happens over and over and over again. After a point, it just annoys you, right? You're just
It's an inside joke among us. Whenever we see a foreign bowler doing a debut in India, it is given that he's going to have a man of the match performance in the series for sure, because we are great hosts like that, where we just and that player may never again play for his country.
Exactly.
So that is the worst part. So you're not even giving it to a champion bowler. You're losing to a pretty average bowler. And world-class players are losing to a pretty average bowler just due to overconfidence.
Right. And most of the wickets also, it is like they gave him the wickets. It is not like he bowled. If he had, I mean, we have to give credit to the bowler. But again, shots played by these so-called world-class batsmen of India, I don't think those were the shots expected to be played.
I mean, Rohit again disappointing. I don't know where to start. Even captaincy-wise, I think Rohit lost a trick, because when England came out to bat on the 4th day morning, the field was so defensive.
Right.
And whilst Hartley, a lower order batsman, is playing, he has easy singles and doubles around the corner. I don't understand. These are like basics of Test cricket. I can't believe Dravid didn't miss this trick. So this is a very poor show. So yeah, 0.1 for Bazball. Yeah. Amazing innings by Ollie Pope.
Amazing. I think surely
should
have deserved 200.
In the recent memory, I think so, one of the most brutal innings in Test cricket in India that I remember.
And it's not like he defended. No. He attacked our bowlers. He was playing positive cricket.
I agree. He had like a couple of lives here and there, but still, winners make their own luck.
Yeah, and should have gotten 200.
Yeah, should have gotten a 200. It would have been sweeter for them.
Exactly.
Maybe he will. There are 4 more games to go. And there are some injury news coming out from the Indian camp as well. So it gets worse for India.
Jadeja and KL will
miss out. So they have their middle order mainstay, and they are spinning. I mean, almost equally important like Ashwin.
Right.
Missing out in the next game. And
3 call-ups for India. I think the board has called up 3 guys, right?
Yes. One surprising for me, which is Saurabh Kumar. The other 2 were expected, Washington Sundar and Sarfaraz Khan. Sarfaraz Khan finally.
I think he has to play. The amount of runs he's scoring in domestic cricket.
But wouldn't Patidar get in ahead of him?
Because he was already in the squad, so probably Patidar will get. But considering that, but I think they will look to get an extra batsman in for me as well.
I mean, did Sarfaraz pass his yo-yo? Now suddenly BCCI, now there is trouble around, like, oh, now we don't look at yo-yo. Like, let's just brush it aside. Yeah, okay. Moving on to Down Under, where there was thunder from Shamar Joseph. I mean, what a spell. I mean, this had like, it was similar to the India's victory at Gabba, where they kept fighting. Australia have themselves to blame. They declared when they were trailing. So they were a little overconfident like India. Two Test giants killed on the same day.
On the same day or the next day. I mean, like you mentioned, great to see for Test cricket.
Yeah.
I think the fan base for Test cricket is reducing. I mean, hopefully this picks it up.
Great for West Indies cricket. I
Yeah.
hope they pick on from this, especially Test cricket of West Indies. It has happened to them before and they have not cashed in.
Right.
The youth have not come through and the team is not stuck together. Maybe this is a glue finally that they need to do well. I hope this is great because we saw Carl Hooper and Brian Lara in tears.
Yes, right.
I mean, these are players, these are legends in their own right. And they are in tears seeing West Indies cricket perform so well, admirably. What a spell.
What a spell. Amazing spell. And that too, it is like he was injured the previous night. He retired hurt. He was out of the ground crying. He left her out of the ground crying. And then next day morning.
What a personal story as well. Amazing. A security guard to living in a rural remote village with zero no internet till 2018. I can't even believe. And to make it this far in life, hats off to Sharma. Yeah. And thereby West Indies drew the series and the trophy was shared.
I think it is almost like a victory for them. I think the drawing the series was almost like a series win for West Indies.
There are a lot of similarities between the India defeat and Australia defeat. Both happened due to overconfidence. Both happened due to 7 in the second innings, one by Hartley and one by Shamar Joseph. And both top two teams have been beaten on the same day. So this is like
at their home.
At their home and at their backyard. Yeah, so a great news for Test cricket. With that segue, let's move on to Ranji cricket. Let's cover some Ranji news. It was again a week of records, 2 triple centuries and one fastest by
Tanmay Agarwal, yeah.
And Jagadeeshan for Tamil Nadu,
300. So Jagadeeshan has been constantly doing well in the domestic. Yeah, he's been doing well in the domestic circuit as well. I don't think he's played a lot of IPL cricket. He's just, has he been playing in it? I think here and there he's
in
played.
And around for Chennai.
But I think in
now
the
he's
domestic
for
circuit,
SRH,
Now he's for SRH, yeah. Last year also he played for SRH. So in the domestic circuit he's been performing well. So great to see him double hundreds as well. Do you want to talk about Nithish Rana?
Yeah, Nithish Rana had, I didn't know this. So, our director sitting behind the camera told this to us. So apparently Nithish Rana was not called up for the Delhi test.
He was dropped as captain.
He was dropped as captain, so he left the Delhi Ranji team and joined Uttar Pradesh. And on his debut game for Uttar Pradesh against Mumbai, scored a century. And I don't know what was the celebration.
Dusting off his bat, but I don't understand
dusting off his bat. That is how he celebrated. So that forced the reporter to ask him what was the celebration all about, and then he had to explain how. Maybe your celebration should be much more clearer, Rana, because
it clearly doesn't make sense. And at least if you had done it against Delhi, it would have made sense. Doing it against Mumbai.
No, even then it doesn't make sense. What does dusting of the bat even mean?
I don't know. Probably it's an inside.
I agree. He's hurt and he performed well. All that is, I agree. But then there is telling a point, then you need to tell the point correctly, right? If you have to explain your celebration in the post-match, that means it is time for a new celebration. Okay. The jokes apart, one serious allegation by Dean Elgar.
I don't know where to start.
Apparently, he was spat at by Virat Kohli during the 2015 South Africa tour of India. Definitely, this is not spirit of cricket. There is no two way about it.
Right.
Going forward, you will hear us talk about things which are like in the grey, 50-50 here and there. Opinions matter, but this is definitely not
the spirit of the game. First and foremost, why was Dean Elgar silent for all these years?
Yeah, I agree.
9 years.
9 years.
It's like
he waited for his retirement.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't understand these sports stars coming up with allegations. This is not the first time in cricket or football or any other sport. They wait for their retirement. They wait for everything to get over and then just randomly drop these things, which loses purpose, right? Had you told it the very next day or very next year, you could have corrective actions taken. If Kohli had done it, it is something disrespectful to any player.
Yeah.
Irrespective, let it be Kohli, let it be Sachin, let it be God himself.
Right.
Okay, so it is something very disrespectful. But why do players wait? I don't understand. Why do you have to wait so long to even divulge something like this? It is not like South African cricket is controlled by Virat Kohli.
Exactly.
I agree. Somebody in Indian Ranji circuit kept quiet. I understand because his career is at stake. But and so that is why you lose credibility when you do something like this. 10 years down the line, you just come up and say, Kohli spat at me. And I said, I will kill you or something like that. I mean, I can't use expletives here. So, I mean, I don't know what to say about it. I hope our viewers do comment.
Comment below on it, yeah. I mean, forgot to talk about Bumrah's demerit point. Him shoulder pushing Ollie Pope almost out of the pitch.
No, but it is such. I mean, I feel the match referee has better things to do. One small march getting. I mean, yeah, whatever it is, it's a rule, so you have to play by the rule. I understand. Maybe it is time to look into that rule as well. In other news, the
ICC World Cup, Under-19 World Cup.
The Super 12s have begun, rather Super 6, 6 in each group. No major surprises up until so far. Let's see.
Moving on to the topic of the week, is Australia the most dominant cricket team in the world?
We are moving on to this week's deep dive segment, and we are diving deep into the part where we discuss whether Australian dominance is set to continue in the cricket world. Australia have been a team which, I mean, more or less in terms of number of victories, ICC tournament championships, they have been bossing it for quite some time now, for last 3 decades easily.
Yeah, easily, yeah.
Yeah, but will their dominance continue? Is what we'll want to discuss in this particular segment.
Yeah, so, I mean, coming back to your point, I personally feel that they have been the greatest nation in terms of cricket.
Okay.
Or let's say over the last 30 years.
But how do you define greatest nation in terms of cricket?
In terms of, I think the end goal for any team would be the silverware.
Yes.
And Australia in terms of ODIs, 6 ODIs, 2 champion trophies, 1 Test championship. The only place where they have, I wouldn't say. I mean, I can use the word faltered because that's how good of a team they are. Is in the T20 segment where they only won one T20.
That logic doesn't work, right? Because say you could be like, would you call Brazil the greatest football team today?
No,
or over a decade, but they have won most number of World Cups. So that logic is very, very flawed because you are judging a team over a 1 month period. Where there could be a very good team. I'm not saying Australia have had a poor situation. You could like take India for example. In the recent past, that World Cup, India was hands down the best team. I mean, by a country mile. It's not even like it was not even a contest. But on that given day, Australia were better. But does that mean that Australia were the better team? No. If you were only to read it on the newspaper, yes, it would say Australians champions of the World Cup.
But Sachin, that's my point.
So that is what I believe us as fans of cricket should understand a little bit more and not fall for this media hype or this glorification of that Australia being the greatest.
From my point of view, I feel a team's glory is decided purely on the number of tournaments that they won, on the number of trophies that they won. And in that sense, no other team like Australia have done it for such a long period of time. Let's see, if you take West Indies, it would have been 8 years, 10 years probably. India for a period, 2010, 11, 12, probably that time. But when you say Australia, they've been doing it for the last 25, 30 years. Since the 99 World Cup, 96 they were finalists, 99 winners, 2003 winners, 7 winners. So again, my whole point was, in terms of silverware, in terms of trophies, a team is decided on the basis of if they have won something, if they have achieved something in the sport. And that's the most important criteria, right? It doesn't matter if a team has performed throughout. Now, as Indians, we can always tell India has been, India were the better team. Of course, even I agree with India were the better team in the World Cup. But at the end of the day, what matters is that, did India win the World Cup? No.
No, my question is, I am not opposing to the fact that Australia won the World Cup or they deserve to win the World Cup. It is not like they played well in the finals.
Yeah.
They were deserved champions. My question is, does it make them a very great or the greatest team? No. It is just one game which you won, right? Over the entire tournament, if you were to see, and you were to make, even if you were to make a like combined 11 of Australia or Indian players of that particular tournament, I think so. Barring Head, I don't think so. Even Cummins makes it. Zampa would make it.
No,
maybe.
that's-
And who else
That's
from
again,
Australia would
that's
make
again
it?
with respect to the players. What I'm talking about is, as a team or as an association, is Cricket Australia as an association or cricket as a team, are they the best? Have they dominated world cricket?
They've
Yes or no?
dominated, but they're not the best.
If they have dominated over the last 25 years, then I think it's fair enough to say that they have been the best.
But
And let's say,
you're talking domination only in terms of ICC events. I mean, you could then talk about the number of bilateral series that they would have lost, the Ashes that they have lost, or in terms of like playing, just like even if you take the number of, the test matches won also. England come a very close second. It is a very close battle. In the number of test matches played, 1,000 odd test matches. I think so Australia 900 odd test matches, and Australia edged England by 4 or 5 test matches. So it's minute difference. And in the same way, if you look at ODIs, it is even closer, because ODIs actually was even more surprising. Is the win ratio of South Africa is the best among all the teams. So that is even more surprising. South Africa around have 61% win ratio for the ODI till they have played till date. So it is not, for me, yeah, I agree. In terms of like, how do you crown a champion? You have to win a tournament. That much I agree. But in terms of like, does it make them the greatest cricket team? No, because I would say the greatest ODI team I would concede. Yes. I'll concede to the fact that in 50-over cricket, Australia are taking the lead. But in T20, I don't think so. Australia take the lead at all. And in Test, I would say honours are shared between Australia, England, and India. And we are forgetting Pakistan, because Pakistan were a tremendous side till early 2000s, and then they fell off a cliff. So these 4 teams have dominated Tests as well. So I don't think so. Australia take it like, it is not, for me, it is the greatest. But moving forward, I think so, we digressed a bit. Will they continue with this dominance? That is the question that we try to, obviously, you sidetracked me there. So will they continue with their dominance?
Honestly, I don't think they will. I don't think that their ODI dominance or T20 never dominating anyways. But I don't think their ODI dominance will definitely continue. Purely, I think the generation of the players, I think the youngsters that is coming, I think the youngsters being produced in the BBL, I don't think they're of, I mean, I'm no one to say, but I don't think, answering your question, I don't think Australia will continue to dominate moving on. I still feel that their domestic structure is not up to the mark, and I still feel from Watt to Ponting to Smith, now Cummins, like you cannot rule out Cummins, and I don't think there's somebody Cummins can pass on the torch to.
But they always found someone.
But I still think that, again, like I said, I'm not the right guy. I mean, I can't comment on the quality of their players, but I still feel that in terms of quality of players, I don't think they will produce such quality players.
But here again, to you, see, the quality of players, has the domestic structure has improved? Yes, it has improved. So the players coming out will also improve and come
Australian
out. No.
domestic structure,
this is the same structure that produced Gilchrist, Pontings and Haydens and Bretley and McGrath, everyone. It's the same structure, right?
But just coming to your point that I don't think the youth are taking up cricket in sense. I was reading that the rugby and football has picked up more in Australia.
Aussie rules football, yeah.
And you can also see, I mean, it is seen in the World Cup as well, right? When Pat Cummins took the World Cup home, there were like 5, 6 guys, and then I think 4 of them would have been journalists. So I think
I suspect you had to take the World Cup home in an Uber boot.
probably that's what I think. So I think for them, I think cricket as a sport, I don't think it
is only used for diplomacy with
India. Probably, yeah. So I think cricket as sport is deteriorating in Australia. I think that's my reason on why they will not dominate.
So all the more reason to say Australia was never the greatest.
They were, and now they were.
It is a whole package, right? It is a whole package, right? You need to celebrate your wins. Your fans need to enjoy it. If there's nobody to enjoy, you can be whatever champion you want. What are you champion for?
That's one way to. That's a very good point you actually put across, wherein your fans don't celebrate your victory. So I think at the end of the day, that's most important thing, right?
Yeah. Also, it is not about. I agree. I mean, in terms of Australia, I agree in terms of like the domination is going to be difficult, but I see them dominating red ball cricket, or at least being there in the top level, because there is no other team that comes close to them, maybe barring one or two, maybe England, maybe when they have 2 or 3 top players, and India. Other than these 3 teams, I think so Australia are a league above everybody else. In terms of ODI cricket, I agree with you. I don't think so, because ODI as a format will die down soon. So there is the domination of ODI cricket is like almost irrelevant.
Right.
In terms of T20, I think so T20 is the best form of the game where everybody is almost on a level playing field. So one magic spell by a bowler or 2 crazy overs by a batsman, it takes the game away from you. So those kind of things happen in T20. So T20 makes the playing field more level, and Australia have not dominated the T20s, scene at all. I think so. If that's the case, maybe Afghanistan have an equal claim to Australia in that regard. So, and I'm not saying...
That's true. That's true. It's not a funny thing to talk about. Afghanistan are playing well, and in terms of, I think in terms of...
And it's also good, right? No team dominating a sport is also good. Because it's a very boring watch otherwise.
Right. So, yeah, I think now you just agreed to my statement that Australia have been dominating world cricket.
No, cricket has never been boring to me, right?
It's not been boring, but...
I said no team dominating a sport. I didn't say Australia dominated cricket. Australia dominated phases in between, and I believe they had more phases.
Yeah.
And also, when you travel also, cricket is a very different game, because unlike another game where conditions don't matter, agreed, football also there is away, it is a little difficult to win away, but here conditions in terms of the pitch is very difficult to read for players who travel. And so domination for home sides have been like a given. If you're a quality side, you're going to dominate at your home conditions. So, and that has been the case. Like you couldn't play Sri Lanka up until like in 2000, 2005. Until 2010, maybe you couldn't play Sri Lanka at home because they were unplayable at home. The way the ball spun, you couldn't just play them at home. Similar conditions with India. India have been like, it is very difficult. I think so Australia are the only team to win a series away. England have won once with Monty Panesar and Graham Swan. Yeah, so it was their magic. So, and again, that has been an aberration. It has just been one series victory, and after that, it has been Indian domination all over again. The same thing with when other teams travel to other countries. Right. So it is very difficult for one particular team to dominate. So that is why that is why I'm not in agreement with you when you say that, you know what, Australia have been the greatest ODI team or greatest cricket team. It's very difficult for me to agree to that, because yes, you are looking into a 60-over period over maybe 4 years, and you are saying yes, that has been the best team. I would say yes, during the 60 days they would have been the best team, but during the 4 years, prior to the 60 days, there have been many teams who have been better than them.
Right. I agree, but coming back to my whole statement of the whole reason on my opinion on what I classify as a successful team, as a dominant team, is mostly to do with how well they do in major tournaments. And that is my whole classification of, what a dominant side is.
So, but then you're taking two games, two formats of the game out of the equation there. Test being the purest form and ODI being the most recent form. T20 being the most recent form. So your basis is only ODI cricket.
I agree, but the thing is, like, let's say we take Test as well, right? Now, coming back to my point, I still do feel the home side dominance is always there, but I still feel that whenever Australia goes away, I still feel that they put up a show wherein it's not quite easy for the home side to win. Let it be England, of course in India it's been a cakewalk for India, but anywhere else, South Africa, or even if they travel to Dubai to play Pakistan or Bangladesh, or wherever they've gone, it's not that they've just lost by 3-0 or 2-0. They have put up a fight. They have won games. So in terms of that,
so now competition is good. Like just being competitive is okay.
No, but let's say any other team
saying winning championship is what matters. So winning is what matters. No.
Yeah, winning.
By your logic, then.
I was talking about
your logic only.
Okay.
No. So see, my point is simple. Like, you're talking only of 50 over game, and you're saying over 50 over game. I agree. In 50 overs, Australia have won 6 World Cups. No other team has even come close. Like no other teams have won more than 2 World Cups. Everybody has won. England has won one. India has won one. Sri Lanka won. Pakistan
India's
won.
won 2.
So India has won 2. 83. India has won 2. So the next closest would be India. But again, I wouldn't call. On the contrary, I wouldn't call India also as the greatest cricket team to. I'm saying it has been phases. My only gripe with it is that you're taking a 30-day window out of 1 year.
Can we rephrase greatest as most dominant side?
Most dominant side in ODI.
ODI.
I can concede to the fact that the most dominant side in ODI have been Australia, and most. England and Australia started playing cricket with like some 50 years before even India started playing cricket.
Right.
Okay, so the number of test matches they have played is also vastly more than what we have played. So the stats, if you look at stats, then you will have to look at stats. England and Australia have won so much more games. But that's because they played so many more games than us. So that is the whole point. And so you need other teams need to catch up to that. My only thing is that in the last 2 decades, I think so, Australia have not traveled well to India.
Yeah.
Okay. And India have traveled much better to Australia.
Right, I agree to that.
Okay. India have traveled much better to England. Again, England we have not won. We drew the last one, right?
We drew the last one.
Yeah, we drew the last one. So England we have not won. South Africa we tried again. The only failure has been South Africa. And Australia also in similar thing. Whenever they travel, they do fail. So there is no domination. It is. I agree. Australia are a very good side, but you can't call them a dominant side at all. When it comes to red ball cricket, so red ball is gone out of the equation. And T20 cricket is anybody's game. You can't call any team who is saying T20 has been dominated by that team.
Okay, I mean, fair enough. But, I mean, I was just thinking in terms of, I mean, I am making a statement about trophies, but I'm coming back to that. But yeah, I agree to your point. I mean, it makes, I mean, in total, when you say you want a team to be celebrated as a sport, I mean, you want a team to be celebrated for their victories. You want them to.
You should feel good for them winning.
Yeah.
And when their own fans don't feel good for them winning, it feels. I mean, you rather feel sad. You actually hope that even a Bangladesh would have won the World Cup, it would have been so much more happier. The fans would have been so much more happier. But that being said, I would say Australia, I will concede to the fact that Australia have been a champion ODI side. Maybe there will never be an ODI era like this ever.
Right.
Should the ODI format survive. There will never be an ODI era like this over since 87 their dominance has been going on. 87, 91.
99,
2003, 2007,
15,
23. So that is some dominance in terms of ODI cricket alone. Yes, in ICC wins. I would agree to that particular fact, but I wouldn't call them the greatest cricket team over the last 40, 50 years. Because
fair enough.
Because in the early stages it would have been England. Then post that it was the West Indies over 10, 15 years. And then briefly it was India. And then again it moved to Australia. Then again the likes of Pakistan came in. Then again England came back. And then Sri Lanka had a spell. Then India had a spell again. And then again Australia had a spell. So this has been like you're changing patterns between countries. So I wouldn't agree to the fact that it has been dominant.
Australia's had more spells, that's probably more spells.
In ODI, again, I would say in ODI. I would say in ODI and also in World Cup. This is what I'm trying to say again. In 4 years is what? 1,200, 1,300, 1,400 odd days. In 1,400 odd days, over 30-day period, you're saying this is the best team. That I'll agree over that. But you are not looking what happened before that, right?
See, why do you need to look at what happened before? And end of the day, why is there an ICC tournament? Why is there a World Cup? Right? It's to decide who is the best. It's to decide which is the best team overall, right? So in those terms, if a team is performing, if a team has won, okay, since since they won most
Because
ODIs.
there has never been a Test championship or a Test World Cup.
Last three.
And 2 times.
And in that, Australia's won once.
Yeah, Australia's won once. See, again, I would say India, the way they dominated till the final, both the times, it is just that the conditions were so alien to Indian conditions that you're going and playing, and whoever is traveling.
But it's again, Australia also didn't play in their home pitch, right? Australia also played in neutral venue.
I'm not saying, but the conditions are more similar to the Australians than for Indians to.
That is again. Then you can tell that India should have prepared well. India should have made pitches like the Australians.
I agree.
India should have done that.
I agree. I agree to all that. That is what I'm trying to say. Maybe it is also a factor there where there is no fan pressure at all.
Yeah,
on Australia,
I agree to
there
that.
is no pressure from the fans at all to win. I'm sure. Even if they lose, also nobody cares. Even if they win, also nobody cares.
Probably the pressure aspect plays I think a huge role, because in India we both know that the expectation from the fans, from everybody around the world, not only cricket fans in India, but I think India set such a huge example or such a huge expectation for everybody that any tournament that they walk in, I think the expectation for India is to win the tournament. So I think in terms of expectation, when you see Australia, the pressure aspect they don't have, they're able to play more freely, and I think that allows them to play better in the big stage. In the big stages.
Yes. So now that this has been going on for quite some time, I think so. One thing that we both will find common ground on is that Australia dominated ODI cricket.
Yeah, I'll agree to that.
Yeah, Test cricket has been phases for teams, and it has not been dominated by any single team. And I don't think so it will be also. Yeah. The conditions be playing a big role in home and away series. I don't think so that'll play a big factor. And ODI, T20 cricket has always been free for everybody. Yeah. Anybody. Even in Ireland is as good a team on a given day to India or Australia or Pakistan or whoever it is. So that's all from us. Yeah. But we would like to hear from you guys. What do you guys think? Who's been a very dominant force in cricket? Has it been Australia, like what he claims, or has it been some other team? Or has it been nobody? It has just been like most of us have recency bias as well. So just Australia won now. So maybe that is why we feel that Australia have been the greatest ODI team or the greatest cricket team. Do let us know in the comments down below. Until the next episode, do like, share and subscribe. Let's go FanDaMentals.